Hello, hello. Yeah. So basically, this video is going to be totally different from what I usually used to make, right? So basically, in this video, like from uh, heading, you have understood that we are going to discuss something related to business, right? So basically, how to forecast a company revenue, correct? How to let's suppose you are building a financial model, right? So basically financial model is something that is used to predict the revenue profit of a company, right? So basically sort of kind of that you are building a financial model for valuing a company, and your task is to try and find out what are the revenue of the company going to be the next year, right? So how would you go about doing that? So this is the most important point, right? So So there are various method, right? Various method available when you're trying to build a financial model. Okay. So how are you going to kind of approach this, and what are the challenges which are existing with like what are the challenges which have with the existing methods, right? So that we have, or which method is better than other methods. So this kind of things that are going to try and discuss in this particular video. I hope it is clear, right? Okay. So let's jump right into it. So generally, the most common method that is used to sort of look at historical number, right? So I have taken an example here of Maruti Suzuki. Okay. Uh, just see it on the screen. Yeah. So I've taken example of Maruti Suzuki. So basically, once you start to project the future growth rate, okay, using the historical data of, right? So sometimes the problem is that the challenges with the historical data is that this can be a misleading because past trend don't always continue, right? So it have some impact because of anything, right? Like you have seen the COVID. Okay, so that has a great impact on the revenue of the this car industry, or you can say vehicles industry company, right? Or if there are some government policy, if there are some changes in the government policy, that is going to be also impact, or maybe also due to the industry saturation, right? So these are some examples because of which the revenue which we have forecast may be totally different, right? Or you can say totally fluctuate. So the lesson is that simple historical growth assumption, right? Assume a company will always grow at the same rate. This is unrealistic, right? So, so we have to find out something like on very, what I can say, on very granular, I can say, yeah, on granular level, so that we can find out, yeah, what is the real issue with that. Okay. So now you can see here for Maruti Suzuki. Let's Yes, for Maruti Suzuki, you can see in 2018 the company is generating around 18,000 of revenue, right? Yeah, 80,000 of revenue. Now you can see here there is an increase. Here you can say there is a drop. So basically, this is the period where COVID arrived, right? This is the period where COVID arrived. So because of COVID, there is impact, right? There is impact of COVID on the revenue of this Maruti Suzuki company. Okay, so that's why, like, that is what I was trying to say this. Ki, ha, always what we are predicting that may be incorrect. Okay, so basically, if I talk about the challenges, right? Challenges with the traditional method. First, कि historical जो data होता है, like historical data, historical historical data. Again, it seems some problem. Yeah, historical data maybe either overestimate. Why it is this? Maybe either it is overestimate, right, or underestimate, or underestimate. There is something wrong with the writing pad. Yeah. So overestimate or underestimate, right? Second is models are dynamic. Financial models are dynamic, right? So dynamic. So basically, whatever our assumption that should be refined over the time, right? That should be refined over the time. Third one is that was I was talking about granularity. This is basically see without breaking revenue into drivers, right? What does it mean that see the revenue is generated and what are the ways because of which revenue is impacted. So basically the drivers, without that it is hard to identify where projection went wrong, right? Let's suppose you are projecting ki the Maruti Suzuki shares will be grow by 10% or 20%, right? So if let's suppose there is a fluctuation in your assumed numbers and the realistic number, right? So there probably or that is going to be definitely there will be difference, right? So what is wrong with your actual predicted number, right? So that is come into the picture once you try to find out on the granular level, right? So without granularity you're not going to be identify the where the projection went wrong. So that is the important point, that is granularity. So that has to be look. So how someone can forecast a company revenue, right? So how can you do that? So let's so basically for that you have to think like a businessman, right? You have to think like a I don't know, there is some issue with my notepad, I guess. Think like a businessman. How? See, let's suppose you are a business owner, and you are giving target to your team to increase the revenue by 25%, right? So increase the revenue by 25%. So basically, they have some few questions, right? They have some few questions to you, right? So what are the question we will discuss all these things. But before that, let's suppose ki, how revenue is calculated. Revenue equal to you can say market size, okay, market size into market share into price, right? Into price. Now let's suppose ki Maruti Suzuki is selling 50 lakhs car, right? So if you talk about the market shares, uh, instead of Maruti Suzuki, let's suppose कि इंडिया में 50 लाख कार बिकते हैं, right? So in India sells 50 lakh cars, correct? So the market share of let's Maruti Suzuki is 40%. Okay, so it will be approx around 20 lakhs car is sold by Maruti Suzuki. Okay, now let's suppose कि average price car is average price per car is equal to 8 lakh, right? So that is 8 lakh into 20 lakh. Okay, so it will be around 1.6 lakh crore. Okay, 1.6 lakh crore. Okay, so this is estimate figure. Now, as far as so there are a few questions like once you have given target of 25% projection in the revenue growth, कि हाँ, ये market जो size है, is it going to be increase? Is it going to be increase? To be increase, right? First thing, अभी कि डिमांड बढ़ने वाला है कि नहीं कार खरीदने वाले लोगों का, राइट? सो इज इट गोइंग टू बी इंक्रीज? बट फर्स्ट इज मार्केट साइज, राइट? नेक्स्ट इज मार्केट शेयर। क्या मारुति सुजुकी का मार्केट शेयर इंक्रीज होगा? मारुति मार्केट शेयर विल बी इंक्रीज और नॉट? सो दैट विल बी द सेकंड क्वेश्चन। और थर्ड क्वेश्चन विल बी कि प्राइस, आर वी गोइंग टू चेंज द प्राइस ऑफ कार, because it will also impact total revenue, right? So if you instead of 8 lakh, you have increased uh, around 25% of 8 lakh, right? That is around 2 lakh, right? So now the price will be 10 lakh. So that is also going to be contribute in your revenue, right? So there are few solutions we have to ask कि हाँ, अगर ये हुआ, if this is going to be happen, this is going to be happen, this is going to be happen, ultimately it will going to be reflect on revenue, right? So that is will be also going to be increased. Okay. So the benefit of this approach is that is allow you to break down assumption into actionable part, right? So basically, so break down assumption, right? So that will be going to be like market share, that what we have discussed here, market share, market price, right, and market growth. So basically these things will be helps to identify why a projection might go wrong next year. Okay, let's suppose कि हाँ 25% के बजाय 15% we have achieved 15%. So so once we start analyzing कि हाँ 15% क्यों हुआ instead of 25%, क्या वो मार्केट में डिमांड कम हो गई, या हमारा मार्केट शेयर डिक्रीज हो गया, या हमने प्राइस डिक्रीज कर दिया, राइट? सो दीज आर फ्यू सॉर्ट्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन you can ask to identify the decline in revenue, the reason of decline in revenue, right? So I hope it is clear, right? So let's take another example of, let's suppose ki cinema, right? Cinema. Mhm. Okay, cinema. Now, uh, if I talk about कि हाँ सिनेमा, हाँ हाँ, सिनेमा रेवेन्यू कितना जनरेट किया, सिनेमा से कितना रेवेन्यू जनरेट हो रहा है, राइट? सो हाउ कैन यू अप्रोच दैट? सी, बेसिकली फिल्म कहाँ लगती है? स्क्रीन पे, राइट? स्क्रीन पे मूवी रिलीज होती है। स्क्रीन, there are multiple seats there, right, where people buy the ticket and went to see the movies, right? Now the number of shows per day, how many shows screen पे कितने shows आ रहे हैं every day? Okay, what is the occupancy rate? What is the occupancy rate? Okay, कि हाँ, let's suppose कि 100 seats are uh, available, so how many people are basically occupy the seats, like how many people are buying the ticket, right? So that is called occupancy rate. And next is ticket price. Okay, and we are calculating for a particular year, right? So we will so this is on daily basis, so we can multiply by 365 to get a revenue of whole year, right? So now see, for a particular screen the number of seats is not going to be changed, so that will be probably constant, right? That is probably constant. Number of shows, it will also mostly constant only. Okay, number of shows. And occupancy may be fluctuate, ticket price may be fluctuate, and screen, the number of screen available may increase or may increase, right? Okay, so to generate more revenue from the cinema, what you can do is that either you are going to be increase the screen, right, or increase the occupancy rate, but that will be a difficult part to increase the occupancy rate, right? For that you have to motivate the people, or कोई अच्छा movie निकालना होगा so that people come and see the movie, right? so occupancy rate increase, and either you will decrease the price, the occupancy rate will be also increase for, right, or to increase the revenue you have to increase the ticket price. So these are some factors. So here the only adjustable factors are ticket price and number of screens, right? Mostly. Okay. So basically, this is going to be helps you to focus on realistic driver rather than an arbitrary growth percentage, right? So this is what we are going to be discuss on the next video also about this one. So I hope it has been clear how to approach, how to find the revenue on the basis of all this assumption, right? So the most important conclusion from this video is that कि हाँ हमें हमेशा historical growth पे rely नहीं करना है, right? Don't rely slowly on the historical growth, correct? Historical growth. Second thing is that break revenue into granular drivers. Granular drivers, right? छोटे छोटे चीजों को हमें keenly, right? We have to keenly observe these things. Third is that we have to think like a business owner. We have to think like a business owner. Okay, to identify the realistic level of growth, right? Second is fourth one is iterate, iterative, right? So basically, we have to refine assumption over the time based on the actual data. Okay, so basically, this approach going to be deepens your understanding of the company valuation. Understood? So hope it has been clear till now. So we have discussed a lot of things, how to forecast a company revenue. So we don't have to depend only on the historical data. Okay, so we have to break the revenue to granular drivers, right? Like market size, market share, price, volume, occupancy, right? Even even let's suppose you were taking in steel industry, right? So their granular drivers are what? Maybe volume, maybe price, maybe increase capacity utilization. Okay, so or maybe the raw material price. So these are the some uh, granular drivers you have to think before forecasting a company revenue, right? So hope it has been clear till now. So any doubt, anything, you can prefer different type of articles, right? I also used to read the articles, right? Read the articles, read the watch the video of good influencers who usually talk about or generally talk about this about the industry, or you can say about this kind of things, right? So basically there are a lot of resources. You have to just stick to one resources, enhance your skills, enhance your learning. Okay, so ठीक है, फिर मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. uh, right, so basically this is a totally different video which I used to upload on the YouTube. Okay, तो पढ़ाई वाला तो चलेगा साथ साथ में, बट these are some extra sort of video I basically used to upload on the weekend. Okay, for see, the purpose of uploading video here is what? Not just I want to become a teacher or something else. I want to basically क्या बोलते हैं उसको, आई वांट टू सेल्फ इम्प्रूव. ओके, और जस्ट कि हाँ मैं रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ सो दैट अगर 5 साल बाद देखो कि हाँ मैंने कैसे, हाउ आई हैव अचीव्ड समथिंग इन माय लाइफ. So so these are the things which I'm recording, so that it may be a like it, it a kind of resource for me, right? ठीक है, मिलते हैं फिर. ओके, बाय बाय.